Getting a job in Canada is one thing. Keeping that job is a different ballgame entirely. Now, oftentimes as immigrants, when we come into the Canadian workplace, we tend to become awkward. Not because we lack the technical skills to do the job, but because we are unable to blend into the team seamlessly. Now, when it comes to excelling in the Canadian workplace, your interpersonal skills are just as important as your technical skills. In this video, I am going to be giving you a few tips to help you engage and strike conversations in the workplace. The art of making small talk is a skill that you must develop. Because if you cannot make small talk in Canada, let's roll. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Faith. If this is your first time here, please feel free to subscribe down below. And if you're a returning viewer, you know how we roll. Thanks for sticking with me. Now, let us dive right into it. You need to learn how to drink coffee. Small talk happens over coffee. Uncle, between you and I, if all you know is kunu or pito, wahala for you. You need to be able to drink coffee. Now, I'm not saying that you should make coffee your best drink, right? But you need to just at least not be averse to it. Understand coffee and to know how to place an order for coffee. Know what is double, know what is single, know what is triple. Don't just be there clueless about coffee just because you don't like it. Because important things happen over coffee. You see that coffee machine in your office? You need to be going there. Be a regular visitor to that coffee area because that is a good spot for meeting people. People go there, you strike up conversations, and before you know it, you get talking and you're no longer the awkward person in the office. Because if you are the type that is always like, I don't like coffee, this, nobody will invite you to hang out with them. When they are going for like coffee breaks, nobody's going to invite you and you will just be all on your own. You won't be able to mingle with anybody in the office. So please, try as much as possible to understand coffee, even if it's not your best thing, but at least have a love for it and, just try to take a sip every now and again and be able to discuss, be able to start conversations. See coffee as an opportunity to bond and engage in conversations. Don't just be stuck in your ways. Try new things, okay? You don't want to be, it's bad enough that you are the new immigrant in the office, the new hire. But then it's worse off if you are now the new hire that is also awkward. You don't want that. So please try new things. Take coffee, strike conversations. You need to be able to discuss the weather and also discuss your commute. It is one of the surest ways to start small talk in the workplace. Don't be that person that just gives one-liner answers. Now, when you get into your office, you're like, oh, it's really snowy today. I hear it's going to go up to -5. Then the person responds and then a conversation ensues. That is how you start. That is how you discuss. When someone says something about the weather, don't be that auntie that will be giving only monosyllabic answers. Or you now start saying, oh, this Hamatan is too much. Hamatan? Really? Or someone is discussing their commute to the office and the person is like, oh, today Highway 401 was blocked, so I had to do like a detour and whew. And then you are there, you don't say anything. Or the only thing you can say is, yeah, the go-slow was too much. That is not going to help you in any way. You need to be able to discuss the weather, with a bit of precision. You need to also understand, a bit of geography. Like, discuss it with some intelligence, right? Don't just say anything that comes out from your mouth. Also, you need to be creative and be quick on your feet. You cannot be repeating the same thing every time. You are that uncle that anytime you get into the office, oh, it's really snowy today. People will know you with your one-liner, conversation starters. So you need to be creative when it comes to conversation starters. The weather in Canada is very dynamic. It's so dynamic that there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the weather, but you just need to understand how it works. And, it's a sure way of breaking into conversations or just breaking the ice in general. People use it all the time. And I think that is something that you need to try out. It will help you a lot. You need to learn about their kind of sports. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be a sports analyst or anything, but at least have an understanding of the sports that are, popular here. You need to learn about ice hockey, basketball, the kind of sports that they play here. Brethren, it's not every time that you'll be talking about Messi or Ronaldo. Oh, if you see the way Messi dribbled yesterday, Messi is the greatest, no cap. This is how they'll be looking at you. Because that is not a conversation that readily comes up here. They don't discuss all of that. First of all, it is called soccer here, not football. Secondly, that is not what is, those are not the kind of sports here. You can't tell me that, trust me, if you talk about Messi or Ronaldo or, the leagues, no offense to the leagues, they are great and all, the La Liga and the likes, they're fantastic, but that is not going to help you with your small talk here in Canada. You need to learn about ice hockey. You need to learn about basketball. If you're in Toronto, you need to know about the Toronto Raptors. I'm not saying that you should now go, but at least have an idea, because that is how you can participate in conversations. You need to be able to come into the office, a day after a game and say, oh, did you guys catch the game last night? The next thing, someone responds, another person responds, and that's how you start conversing. No big deal. It's very seamless. But if you come there and you're talking about not regular sports, I don't know, it's not going to help you. Learn about their sports. Sports is a good way to just break into conversations any day, anytime. Learn about the Canadian entertainment space. Entertainment is a big deal here, and you need to be able to participate in conversations. It is a good conversation starter. It's not every time Africa Magic or what's that one? The Johnsons. It's not every time you'll be watching those ones. You need to know what is trending, what reality shows are trending, what series is trending. Go on Netflix, go and look at, top movies or top series in Canada today, number one in Canada today. Watch those ones, because those are the ones that will help you with conversations. Don't go and be watching the ones that were, were like 5 years ago. Watch recent ones, because when you are in a, in a gathering, or like maybe you are at lunch or something, those are the kind of things they'll be talking about. Also know about their kind of music. Well, music is sort of general, but know about their music stars. Not every time Davido, Wizkid, this one, Burna Boy. You need to know the music stars here, because those are the people they will be talking about during lunch. You cannot be there, at the table and people are having conversations, regarding movies or music or arts, and you don't even know anything. You are completely clueless. And see, they will leave you out of those conversations. They will leave you out of those lunch dates. Nobody will invite you because, Canadians are nice, right? They won't want to make you feel bad. So, because of that, they would rather not invite you for those lunch dates, so that, they don't invite you and then you become very awkward at the table and they start to feel sorry for you. Like, they will avoid it altogether. And you don't want to be that person that they will start to avoid. You want to be that person that they'll be like, oh, so, hey, Faith, you want to grab some lunch? Because they know that you are interesting, you have a lot to talk about, and you only get that way if you start to, know about their own kind of stuff. Entertainment in Canada is a big deal, and it's something you want to consider when it comes to small talk. Ask questions and also learn to be open. Those of you that are always, my village people, as if your village people don't have any other work in this life than to be trailing your movement and anything you say. Those of you that you are so secretive that if someone has to get any sort of information from you, they need to go and get CIA or FBI. It's like, getting water from a rock or something. You cannot be like that in Canada. It will not help you. It will definitely not help you in the Canadian workplace. You need to be open. You need to be able to discuss some things that, in your country, in your home country, are considered, very personal or like TMI or anything. But here, you need to be able to say some of those things. A friend of mine was telling me about her first job, and she was like, oh, so her colleague, every time, the colleague was pregnant, so she was always talking about, oh, her due date and how she's going to get a C-section, and what the doctor said during her appointment the other day. Like, my colleague said, in fact, she just couldn't take it. She was just like, what is all this now? Not like she told the lady, but you know, I can imagine that it was all over her face, the fact that she was uncomfortable with those conversations. But the truth is, you can't be like that. I mean, even if you're not going to talk about your own stuff, right? But when the person is having that kind of conversation with you, don't make it obvious that, this is a taboo. This is not something that I'm used to. You need to be able to blend in. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and tell somebody your whole life history, right? Obviously, we don't want that. But at least be able to say enough to hold a conversation. You know how you can say something without saying something? You know, that kind of thing. That is what you need in the Canadian workplace. Because people will ask you questions. They walk up to you and say, oh, hi, Faith. They will ask you some questions that in your home country are considered very personal. But you need to be able to be open. Don't be that person that anytime they ask you, say, oh, sorry, I can't discuss that. Oh, sorry, it's too personal. You can't be like that. Very soon, they will know you as the secretive new immigrant in the office, and everybody will leave you alone. Nobody is going to be your friend. Nobody is going to mingle with you. So please try as much as possible to be somewhat open. I know it's not something you're used to, but you know, you want to just give it a try and change your attitude a little bit. It will help you and go a long way in helping you mingle with the team. Another thing is you can try to be a good listener. Now, it's not always all about you talking or you initiating the conversation and all of that. Try to listen. And not passive listening, actively listen to conversations. Now, people all over the world, right, like to talk about themselves, right? People like to just talk about themselves. And Canadians are no different. So if you can listen, you know, while they talk and just ask questions, of course, don't just, you know, interject with, oh, really? No, it's not going to work. You need to be able to at least, you know, intelligently interject and ask them questions. Oh, ask about their hobbies, ask about, you know, politics, their work. People love to talk about themselves. That is another way that you can, you know, blend into the team nicely. It's going to help you if you can just listen to people when they talk and, you know, give a few pointers here and there. Even when you don't understand, you can say, oh, sorry, I didn't quite get that. The person will go all the way and even go in depth and try to explain it to you even better than they did the first time. So it's just a way to start conversations, and before you know, back, forth, and then an actual conversation has ensued. Finally, it is called small talk for a reason. Now, don't think that because you have conversations with a colleague at work every day and you exchange conversations, it means that you're automatically friends. Nope, it doesn't mean that. In your home country, maybe being colleagues automatically just develops into a friendship. In Canada, being colleagues and being friends can be two mutually exclusive things that may never intersect. And that is just a reality that you have to accept. So don't think that because you do that, it means that you are friends. If you want to be friends with a colleague, then you need to put in extra effort and go beyond small talk into actual conversations. Get to know the person deliberately, ask questions, because you know it's not just about the weather now or coffee or what, it's about you getting to know the person. And also, don't force yourself on anyone. You need to be able to feed off of people's energies, right? You would know when someone doesn't really want you in their space. You would know when someone wants to keep a relationship platonic and doesn't want anything further. So you need to be watching out for those clues. Don't go and force yourself on someone. It's not going to pay off. Before you know, the person will start withdrawing from you, that even the supposed small talk, you won't even have it anymore. So it's best your relationships are platonic than people start to avoid you altogether. And managers too, put yourself in the manager's shoes, right? If you're someone who doesn't blend well with the team, the tendency for the manager to prefer other team members above you is, kind of high. I'm not saying that, you don't have the technical skills. Yes, like I said earlier, technical skills are good, but interpersonal skills plus technical skills, give you that edge, give you that oomph. Now, you also don't want to be the chatterbox. I'm not saying you should go and be the chatterbox in the office, but you need to be able to have conversations. Don't also be quiet. It's just about finding that balance. Don't be on the extremes of both sides. Again, I'm not saying that without these tips that I've mentioned, you will not be able to blend into the team. But these are just things that would improve your chances of striking up conversations and seamlessly blend into the culture in the workplace. If there are other tips that you know of, please feel free to drop them in the comments section. Like I said at the beginning of this video, getting a job in Canada is good, but keeping that job requires some effort, and you definitely need to put in that effort. So please like this video, comment, subscribe, and share with anybody that you think it will be beneficial to. As usual, I'll see you on my next video.